Hey everyone, another X-Plane 12 beta video. This time we'll do a really nice weather flight. It's real world weather, so picked a nice morning to do it. I just had to change the daytime hours a little bit, so it's middle of the day, not early in the morning, but it looks like it's going to be a cracker day, so let's get going. I still haven't set up the spray gear fully. Still working on getting the effects working. But in the evenings and early mornings, I've been adding a lot of the different huts that are throughout the Kaimanawa region to fly to. So we'll just do a bit of a scenic flight and land at a few of them, and hopefully there'll be a few tricky approaches. And I'll try and finish this flight with a auto rotation back into the base here, just to test out how this CowanSim one handles autos. So we'll jump in and get going. As you can see on my little map here, we're sitting at the base, and I've got huts scattered all through now, with little helipads. So I think today we'll do, let's have a look. We'll go into, we'll do a bit of a roundabout trip. We'll take off. We'll overfly the Otapua, and then we'll head across down past the upper Rapire, lower Rapire, and then back across to the Tapuia Lodge, and then maybe we'll shoot across to Golden Hills and maybe stopping at the Tussock hut on the way back, and that'll be a long enough flight, I'd say. Okay, generator on. Alright, let's get going. Plenty of fuel. Oh, we might have to stop actually. What have we got? 131 litres. I'll just jump out, put some in it. Give us about an hour 20, should be enough. Not much wind today, a little bit there. I think I need to turn up the shadow distance because it's only showing shadows from the trees quite close in. Can't wait to try out the CowanSim's 500E once it's been updated for 2012. Picking a few of these huts that I've just quickly put together will be, I just used all generic scenery for them, will be probably maybe a little bit technical compared to the two that I'm used to flying into here in the sim. There's the Otapua down in front of us there. So we'll go straight down this valley and we'll duck out across the left, across the ridge and then over into the Rapaya. We're not going to land at Otapua, we'll just overfly it. I've never actually flown to any of these huts yet, so this is the first time I'll be testing them out. So there's a wee bit of a hole back there in the terrain mesh. Let's go check that out at some stage. Not sure where I can actually land at the upper Rapaya. It's very hard to work out on the aerial photos where the helipad would be. It's quite steep country through here by the look of things. It could be the riverbed, but just all the orthos, even on Lynn's website, it's quite dark, and I couldn't find any photos online, so it's something I'll have to research. Probably got to cut across, but I sort of fly down through the valley here. That's what it's like. outlets are just there in the, see on the side of the slope there. The river's actually on the left side of it, but it's sort of not lining up with the ortho. Looks like I could probably land just beside it there, but we'll forget about this one. We'll go to the lower Rapaya, we'll definitely land it. Up around one of these corners here, I think, up on just up to the side of the main valley floor. So I think somehow the hut's not actually showing, but it should be just in front of us there. I wonder if I need to just change the density of the scenery to show it, but we won't worry about that now. It's definitely just in front of us. This is the little area I made as the landing area. Just have a little look. Right, jump back in. We'll fly to the Tapuia Lodge now, which is just there. So it's back across the ridge from us. Do a towering approach out of here, towering descent. Should be able to climb out of here. We can always go across to the right there if we can't make it up this side. Quite a nice spring day, the weather. Across this ridge, and I'm picking we're probably a little bit further, and then we'll have to descend back in because it's right down beside the mohawk of this next hut or lodge. Oh, there's a hot springs there too. Mohawk just there, I think on the ortho, looks like it. It'll be just around the corner here to our right. Should be just over there, down to our left. Mohawk. Okay, I'm just going to quickly change up my density for the buildings because that might start showing the huts themselves, so I'll just spiral down. It might just take a couple of seconds to load. This one, world objects density maximum, because it could be the setting I know when I made the scenery as to whether it was, say, showing all the objects, because if I had it set to showing on maximum or high and I was on medium, it definitely is not going to show the buildings. Apologies for the black screen while it loads. I wouldn't have thought it would take too long because there shouldn't be too much world objects in this area, just the odd hut. Here we go. Okay, that's a bit fake. Well, not fake. I landed in the wrong spot. Didn't realise the hut was going to spawn right on top of us, but that's alright. I'll get out of here and we'll have a look at it from the air again. Spooling up. At least the hut should all show now, that'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, we'll just disregard the fact that the hut was right underneath us. Just back out of here. See, we've got smoke showing which way the wind's going. I'll just pop to the outside view so you can actually see the hut just there. And then I've actually made another little clearing over here which you can actually park the chopper in if you're skilled enough to get it down in there. I don't know whether this will fit. The 500 definitely would. Alternatively, there's you can land just down beside the river here. It probably about fit in front of the hut too. So now we'll fly across to the Golden Hills. So let me get my map here. Alright, let's go. And we'll leave the Mohawk behind here and we'll head cross country towards Golden Hills. Now there's actually, I think, I'm not sure if it's currently listed, but on the maps I see there was listed 2 huts at Golden Hills. One was an old one, but it might have been refurbished, and then there was another one that they might have been using while that one was under repair. I'm not sure if they're both still there, but I've put both in. Try and climb up out of these gullies a bit now. Could actually swing south a little bit here, check out Venison Tops while we're going through this way. There's another one between us and there, I forget, there's about 2 or 3 that have very similar names. There's one that's up on the top of the hill here. Just here somewhere. Maybe I may have accidentally put that one under something in the scenery inishi file. That's alright. We'll go on to Venison Tops. Which I think is up on top of this plateau. It's cool flying through these hills. I think that's at this end of the open tops up here. There we go, you can see the hut just there. Bit of a clearing there, you can land in. Alright, we'll carry on to Golden Hills. Nice steep country through here. Big slips down there into that river. It's a beautiful day to be out flying through the Kaimanawas today. Sort of bordering on Kawakas at the moment though, I think. Thinking that the Golden Hills is going to be in that ridge sort of ahead of us. It's down over in behind there. Not the far ridge, this closer one. Could be behind the far one. This is all new to me, never flown into any of these spots, so it was the first. The Harkness is up to our right, up in there somewhere, and then further up is the Tussock, which we might stop in, or maybe we'll swing past the Harkness and then go over the Tussock on our way back, because they're not too far out of the way. Yeah, I think it may be on the other side of that big high ridge. It may not be. I'm just trying to get an estimate on the sort of how big this valley is. Yeah, it might be in this valley. Although looking at that topo on the map, it's just on the other side of this. Now we'll just climb up around through to this left saddle here. That must be looking back up towards the Boyd, way up the north end of that valley. It's a nice valley coming up. A lot of open tussock flats by the look of it. Tea tree, a bit of manuka. Yeah, this looks familiar, well, from what I've seen on the aerial photos. Just there on the left hand side of the bottom of the valley. Yep, that's the, I'm not sure which one is used now. That was one. This is it's quite a small hut, I think, but there was one on the hill which we'll go land at as well, which I think it could be a refurbished one. Got to do a bit more research to figure out what actually went on. Apparently this is the old Golden Hills hut, but yeah, sort of up on the side here. those trees alpha textures aren't seeming to be working properly with certain angles. Oh well, we'll head to just situate the seat better. Go across to the Harkness. And the Mangataramia is just over the hill from us to our left, but we'll go via the Harkness and then tussock it back to base. Now we're heading back into the main sort of valley where the Boyd airstrip is at the top end of. Sort of the south end of that valley where it's quite open. I'm not exactly sure where this hut is, so we'll just have to use our map. Put a nav and find it. Still really enjoying this CowanSim AS350. It's such a nice machine to fly. It's up the end of that little valley just there. Sure, it's going to be a tight fit in this one. Alright, we'll just check that we're clear of everything. Yep, oh, there's plenty of room. It's always when you're in the VR headset, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. It's fairly tight, but it's not too bad. Right, now tussock up next. These are just generic buildings that I've used as the huts, there's not much point. Well, I mean, a lot of work making custom huts. So we can weave our way up the slope. bit of clouds sitting into some of these gullies now. Tussock should be just on the other side of this sort of, I guess it's a tussock valley, so probably where it's got its name, I'd say. Nice, Tussock Valley. There's the hut just there. We won't bother landing at this one. It's a fairly open approach to this one. So now we'll head back to base, and we'll do an auto rotation once we get close. Yeah, back there. I've never done one on this, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So I'm probably going to be a bit rusty. I haven't done one for a while. So if I can pull it off. Top marks to CowanSim for probably making it fairly accurate then. So while we're here, we could just have a look at the map. Yeah, we'll stop at East Creek on the way back because it's on our way. Thickening up that cloud down across that way. It's changed a little bit. Shoot across this ridge and drop into East Creek. I don't know whether we'll land yet. We'll have a look. If it's going to be too much to turn around and come back in, we'll just carry on back to base. We'll have a look at it, at least overfly it. Oamaru hut should be down there somewhere out to our left at the end of the valley there. Probably just out of the scenery rendering range. East Creek. Trees spawning a little bit late in that one. Oh, since we're here, we might as well give it a go. Alright, we're down. Alright, we'll get out of East Creek. And back to base. Right. Alright, better start prepping for an auto. I'll probably just try and land on the grass out in front of the base rather than risk embarrassing myself by landing inside the hangar or something. Ready to roll the throttle off. Once we cross over the pine tree hedge at the edge of the main field, I'll roll off the power and see what happens. I'll keep the recording and I'll post it online no matter what happens, even if it's a crash. It's going to be interesting to test it out actually. So you'll be able to hear the engine note when I roll off the throttle, hopefully, and see what it sounds like winding down. And so we're at. Yep. Once we cross this pine trees just up here where the straight line edges, we'll roll off and we'll try and land out in front of the hangar there somewhere. Okay, I'm going to roll off the power now. Okay, so we've lost all power. It's coming down fairly quick. Run on landing. It wasn't actually too bad, it actually handled pretty good. The rudder was not very effective compared to what it was before, but alright, let's rev up and I'll put it back on the pad. Always gets the old heart going when the old engine winds down. Right. Pick it up, put it over here. I'll put it by the fuel pump actually because we'll fill up the next flight. Junction locks on. So I've done a bit of a tiki tour flight around there and back, so we'll call that it for this time. That's us. We'll see you next time.